I'm Bobby J. Welcome back to the channel, and this is 2025 rice harvest. And we're gonna go straight into it because that's how this started. We came out of the gate going full bore, and boy, everything was beautiful, everything was running great until, well, our first breakdown, and then the rain came. All right, we got problems inside this gearbox. First breakdown of the season, we were going good until the horizontal auger that goes directly there all the way through the bottom of the bin. This pulls the rice towards me, and then this gearbox is a 90-degree, and then that's what makes then the vertical auger spin and carry the rice out to unload it. The horizontal auger is spinning, but this shaft right here is not. Something slightly catastrophic has happened inside this gearbox. So for right now, we're gonna abandon this. Go park this bank out, go get the backup bank out, the old greenie, fire it up, finish out the day, and then tonight I'll pull this gearbox off, take it home with me, and open it all up, and see what we can find, give me something to do while I'm drying rice tonight. So, first major breakdown. Gotta do what you gotta do, come on. Old Greenie never even used that bank out last year. Had it for a long time. I've had this thing for whoop. Let's keep the rice in the bank out. All right. Gotta look like professionals. Whoa. Yeah, I've had that thing for a long time, for almost 20 years, I would say, which actually in farmers' time, that's actually not that long. 20 years is really, I got stuff I've had for my entire life. But it's all right. It's not bad. Now, if you look real close right there, let's see here. You see that? That is a Deutz air-cooled 913, the improved version over the 912. Air-cooled diesel. And I've got a few of those, actually. And boy, they're still going. As long as you keep the fins all clean, that's a pretty good little engine. Now, the one problem with that particular Deutz is in that particular application, 160 horsepower is a little on the shy side. It's like to run around in a first gen. It gets the job done on one hand, but then it definitely leaves you wanting some more, especially when you're used to driving the other bank out, the Pete. The big dog with 240 horse. Yeah, you getting that, and you feel like you've been demoted. That's for sure. More like court martial. That's how much power difference there is. But like I said, it gets it done. It's nice having this thing as a backup, as a secondary. Got to get that gearbox put together. Waiting on some parts. Hopefully we can get that thing going. Now the bad part is where we're at right now in this area. I'll scan over to that. This field here. As soon as we finish this field, we are out of here and off to a new territory. We're gonna move in the morning. Assuming we finish here today, we're gonna move in the morning all a little ways and go north. And the thing is old Greenie might have to go with us, because I don't think I'm gonna have that gearbox put back together by tomorrow morning, ready to rock and roll. So hopefully old Greenie can make it out there okay. And I mean, the axles, Timken 409s is what's underneath that thing. 4-steer, 4-wheel drive axles. Those axles, 1940 something era. They are World War II era. They came out of a World War II era airplane tug. They were Federals is what the brand was. I don't think Federals long since gone. But yeah, they were used to tow around the bombers, tug around the bombers, and they were an interesting little deal. And the rice growers of California figured out that they was a perfect candidate to build a bank out in them. So that when they started coming up military surplus in the 50s, 60s, in that time frame, even still the 70s a little bit, barely. But yeah, they take those federal bomber tugs and stretch them and change the chassis and turn them into California rice bank out wagons. And then after that, that's when the Clark 20 ton, because the Vietnam era, the Clark axle became the go-to. Much stronger, much better planetary axle compared to the Timken 409. The 409 suck, they can't handle weight, they're geared much higher. The Clarks are the way to go. Smoking hot. Add that to the list. Man. Whew, look at that. We're still baking. I've been parked for a couple minutes. I barely made it. Barely made it. Yeah. I come rolling in the driveway and like, that ain't right. And there's smoke pouring out of there. I'm like, that definitely ain't right. And well, it's really not right. So, okay, add that to the list in the morning. Hopefully that spindle's not special because it's got a pinhole in the back side. I think I got it under control. See what happens. All right, now we're back to my place, and flatbeds have their purpose. Utility beds, they have their purpose. Having a gearbox that's in pieces that is kind of somewhat irreplaceable because I'm gonna say it's 1960s, maybe 1970s era stuff that I've never even actually seen a second one of it. Let's not have anything roll off the back of the flatbed. So let's move everything over into the other truck, go into the machine shop, so we don't lose anything. There is a broken shaft. Now, it may not look quite like a broken shaft, but it looks pretty broken when you stick that in there right there. And there, that thing broke clean off. Man, what happened there? It's almost like something. Oh, because that's where this is turned down. I just now realized that. That's the why this looks like that. Is because the race of the bearing, this shaft is actually turned down to, I'm guessing, 1 3/4 right there. Because that's where, as you can see, that's the inner race of the bearing. So, there's where the bad stuff happened. Okay. Let's get this to the machine shop in the morning. Time to call it a night. Right there. There's where that gearbox goes. Things happen quick. Didn't get any footage on us taking this apart, but this is real simple. This thing slides out of here. Well, we got 8 bolts to hold this in. Now, this morning, more developing information. One, my guy that drives the bank out, he's a little concerned about going through town with the old Green Goblin. There's not much for brakes on that old girl. So we're actually going to go ahead and just take this to the next ranch with the plan. The parts are going to be ready. The machinist is right now, as we speak, as I'm filming, making the new shaft that goes in right here. Which is what broke. He's making it. We are going to like I said, go ahead and take this rig broke down as is out to the next ranch, and tomorrow morning then we should be able to slam this sucker back in. So hopefully we can make all that work, because we're fighting some problems, but you know what? When it rains, it pours. That happens. Well, we'll work our way through it. Keep harvesting rice. That's the bottom line. Got to keep going, because another storm, it'll come. It'll be here before we know it, and I want to be done. Are we rolling? Yeah, we pretty much, we got the machine shop, the local machine shop. They're on the clock for us. Right now, we're working on the shaft for that gearbox. Had no luck in town finding the right spindle and hub for the header trailer that just blew up last night. He had something close, and he is machining a hub and spindle assembly for us so we can get the header all put back together and get that on the move. So, can't seem to find anything off the shelf. Be able to throw things back together real quick, but it is what it is, and we've got a really good machinist in town. He's a fantastic guy. He's helping us out, making stuff happen. Okay, she's going with no gearbox. And we've made it to the next ranch. Got 80 acres in front of us here. Let's see here. My dad, he already got us 2 sets of trailers. I like it. Now we just got to go back, see if we can get that header put together. Tomorrow morning we get the bank output back together, and we get this dog and pony show on the road. Okay, well, there we go. Something that's supposed to be easy turned into a difficult. Went up and had the machine shop. They had to put a sleeve over this 1 3/4 because that's 2 inch. Slid a sleeve over, drilled me a hole. So we're ready to rock and roll. Let's go install it. Okay, we're going again. Okay, hang on. Oh, okay, take a breath. Okay, another bit. We're going. Up, there it goes. Okay, we're back in business on that gearbox. Well, you know, it's going. I guess we're gonna wait and see if it actually stays together in one piece. But hey, at least it's going. didn't make it to this field. Here comes the storm. Fortunately, the ground's pretty firm here, but we'll see how much rain we get and how much of this is still standing and beautiful like this 24 hours from now. Well, here we are again, basically in the same spot. And we got all over the field. We got some of those spots where the rice is laid down, where the weather's pushed it over. And you got these little circles that are wanting to go down. But, you know, not too bad. And the ground, 1.25 inches is what we got. We got 1.25 inches of rain. I think we can get away without tracks. And now what I'm looking for is to see if I see rice on the ground, which I do not really. So we didn't have any hail, we didn't have any real hard rain that could actually knock the kernels right off the plant. So I think this is where we need to come, is to this field. Wasn't the plan to come here, but I think this is the driest ground we have everywhere out of 7 fields. I think this is it. I mean, it's sticky out here. Don't get me wrong. Sit here on the 96. I'm in the mud wagon. Yep, it's a little muddy. Well, I can't even walk out here. I'd say the old CTS too, I've never had it stuck. The other one, 9610, yeah. But what a mess. All right, let's see if we can pull this thing out. I can't even walk out here. Oh boy. Okay, so here's the scenario. As you just saw, got the combine stuck. We're in the mud. Pretty bad. It's kind of mud where if it was quite a bit wetter, I actually might be able to kind of slice through it. And if it was just a little bit drier, we'd float a little bit better and probably be able to get through it. There's a consistency there in this type of dirt that, it's brutal. It's heavy enough that it won't push well with the tires. Everything's a fight to get around. So anyway, the bottom line is, as you saw, we got stuck with the combine. We got to put the tracks on. And that's one. And there's two. Well, looks like everything's still back here. Sprockets, swing arms, tracks. Got to get unchained. And then tackle that sucker. And here comes the first one. One tire. Okay. Put the swing arm and sprocket on. We're moving. Alright, easy does it, right? right there. Okay. One down, one to go. There we go, track number 2. All I gotta do is nudge this thing so it drops down in the rollers. You can see the rollers are right above that groove. So I'm gonna push this thing in just a hair. Up there it went. Right there, that's what we wanted. Okay, now tighten up the track, take a little bit of slack out of that right there. You can see how it's drooping. We'll tighten that track up some, and we're ready to go finish harvest. And we're blowing the rust off of them. Clanky, clanky. But we're doing 3.5 miles an hour, so you know we're scooting. But I see it. There's where we want to be. There's the trailers over there. We're almost there. Okay. Here we go. Let's get this done. Oh, water. Go. We're staying up on top. And that was last pass with tires. That's looking a little rough over there. Look at that. Man, this stuff is soft. What a difference though. We're getting it. We're in 4-wheel drive. Hydraulics back there helping. Look at that mess back over there. Man, that's a hole. Jeez. Big old hole. Ooh. Tracks don't like it. Man. Boy, I'll tell you, this is wet stuff. Look at that. Can you see that piling up and wanting to stack up out in front? Man. I'll tell you what, you get this thing stuck. Now, God help you getting this thing out. I'll tell you what. Because, what are you going to bring in? Wrecker. Bring in a wrecker. Anchor it out on the road. That's what you got to do. And then you hope that you don't tear the machine in half. That's the other thing. But we're not going to do that. We're going to get through it, and we're going to bang out these and wrap up 2025 rice harvest. That's the plan. pretty, but man, we're done. This thing is pretty much unstoppable. The steer axle back there pushing those big 28 L26s. And the Sweco tracks, you know, these are pretty cool. Now they're completely covered in mud and disgusting and everything, but you know, I want to show something. The engineering of these. These swing arms, which are the green tubes, this was all done aftermarket. The mounts that are in the center of the screen right there where the fresh bolts are, all this was all built and welded onto this machine as an aftermarket type accessory. This is something that was thought up and engineered and done by Sweco Products out of Sutter and Colusa up in Northern California. And the tracks and everything that they built, which I believe a lot of this are cap parts, I think, but Sweco Products built all these. And the point is, those swing arms, you can't hardly see it, but there's the tube right there. The undercarriage of these tracks then support the entire weight of the whole assembly, the whole machine, everything. And the sprockets, the drive sprockets coming off the final drives, that drive sprocket only, it has to support 0 weight. There's that final right there covered in mud. It has to support 0 weight, and its only job is to drive the tracks. Where when you have the tire and it's bolted on, then the hub assembly inside that final drive, it takes the entire weight of the machine. So my point is, it's a very good design. And this is something, what I want to get at here is, this is something California specific, okay? This stuff is unheard of in the rest of the country. All the big combining in the Midwest and all the corn and up north in Canada, all the wheat and all that stuff. This is something you only see out here in California. And us California boys came up with all this, and you know, we get a bad rap that all we do is surf and say dude and vote for socialism, but you know what? There's a lot of guys out here that are smart and got it together and hardworking and got a go get it attitude. And that's a fine example of building a whole assembly for a combine that no one had ever come up with. Never thought up before, really. John Deere in the olden days had some tracks, so I guess maybe that was the original thought. But all the steel tracks all went to the wayside and everything. And now, if you're familiar with combines, you know rubber tracks are the big thing, and they have been for the last 10 years. But remember, this machine's now 26 years old, and they were doing a lot of this stuff in the 90s. This was before the rubber track era. You know, your choice were tires or steel tracks. John Deere had done away with the steel tracks, which their design sucked. I want to add that. That's what I'm saying. This swing arm assembly and how these tracks hold the weight, this is such a better design than John Deere ever had in the old like 60s and 70s era stuff that they had. Way better. Anyway, pretty badass setup. Yeah, it's 26 years old and it's old school iron, and you know, but you know what, still, I don't know, I still like it. Pretty sweet setup. Well, that's pretty much a wrap for 2025 Rice Harvest. You know, it's kind of interesting one. It's funny how things, some years, a lot of mechanical issues, but the weather's nice. A year like this, almost no problems mechanically. There was one small bearing that went out on the CTS, and it took about 20 minutes to change. It was so easy. Man, and the bank out the gearbox, that wasn't even all that bad, really. But we had the early heavy rain. We wound up laying in the mud. So it's par for the course. It's how it goes, you know. One thing's good, another thing's down. But it's pretty late. It's what is it? It's Sunday. It's November 9th. Right now, we finished up yesterday and got still some more winter projects, or more farm projects before winter sets in. I always say we're still busy all the way to Thanksgiving, and I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. You know, I want to say something real quick about Thanksgiving. I see a lot of people even make a point that they are skipping Thanksgiving, that it's Halloween and then it's Christmas. But you know what? The
modern society, we've lost touch of what Thanksgiving is. People think all it is sitting around saying how your thanks for your Nintendo Switch 3, Sony, whatever thing, video game thing, that's what you're thankful for. Well, you know what it actually is, okay? The Pilgrims and the Indians and all that stuff, it was the sitting down, it was the celebration of harvest. That's what Thanksgiving is. It's giving thanks of a bountiful harvest, and amongst adding in all the other things in life that you've been blessed with and you were thankful for. But that's what Thanksgiving is about. It is the celebration of harvest. So it is a big deal for us, because even though you may live in Manhattan or Malibu or somewhere where you're about as far as it gets as you can be from agriculture, you should still celebrate the fact that there is food loaded in almost every grocery store from coast to coast, because we can celebrate yet another harvest. I'm Bobby J. I always enjoy doing these harvest videos. It's a big deal for us. Big part of our lives, our business is harvest. Appreciate you watching. See you on the next one.